Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Broku, and we're going to do a review of the newest Black Clover chapter, Chapter 244. This is the chapter titled Cinderella Gray, and if you want to go read this on Viz, it should be free. Even if you don't have the subscription, I will leave a link to Viz in this chapter down below. So I'm going to give my kind of review, summary, analysis of this chapter, and just talk about some of the stuff that happened. Overall, it is a pretty packed full chapter with some good lore, and so basically it picks up where the chapter left off. Asta just damaged Dante, and Dante is now pissed off, and he activates the spell called Heavy Infighting, punches Asta, and then endlessly punches Asta, beating the absolute shit out of him and reverting Asta back into base form. Now I'm going to come back and talk about this later, but then it goes back to Gauche. Now, Gauche is dying, potentially. Now, in the last chapter, his grimoire was not dissipating yet, so he wasn't that close to death. And Gray is sitting over him, crying. She feels helpless. She gets a flashback to back when she was living with her mother, or probably her stepmother and her stepsisters. This is the chapter called Cinderella Gray, so she is following the story of Cinderella. She has two beautiful stepsisters who treat her like shit, and she's kind of like the ugly duckling. And at this point, she's covered with ash. They're making fun of her. And if you look right here, there's this figure walking away, and it almost looks like the Witch Queen. Don't know for sure if it really is. I'll talk about that again later. But basically, Gray finally shows her stepsisters, and this is a flashback. She shows them her magic, and with this magic, she turns into one of them, and she's basically about to say, now I'm also like you. This pisses the stepsisters off because they think that they're mocking her, and they go and pretty much are about to attack her. She runs away, and some bandits are about to kill her, or more likely it's implied that they're going to rape her. But Gauche comes in and saves the day with his mirror magic under orders of Marie. Marie wanted her to be saved, and so Gauche is the one who saved her. Basically, this is what caused Gray to kind of really, at first, just like Gauche and other people because they cared for each other. And then she pretty much kind of fell in love with him. She's like, I want to save you, Gauche, and it's embarrassing, but I want you to look at me more. She has a thing for Gauche. We've kind of known this for a while. And while she's looking and down at Gauche, she activates a spell. No name yet, but it dissipates and dissolves the sword and closes the wound. Now Vanessa is shocked. She's like, Gray. And then she thinks she closed it. No, that spell. It's... And then she's like, Gray, you. And then it kind of fades away. Asta's reverting from his black form to his base form. Dante just beat the shit out of him. And Dante's like, fantastic. Who would have thought you have another arcane stage? And he wants both Vanessa and Gray to come be his women. So Dante is a freaking player out there. He wants two arcane stage bitches from the Black Bulls. But before that can happen, a giant black slash appears, and it's Yami. He's here with Finral. Finral teleported him here. And, well, Yami's flying, and he's like, what are you trying to pull? Nobody messes with my people. So this is going to be great. Yami going against Dante. This will likely prove that Yami scales above even Berserk Asta. Because, I mean, just narrative-wise, is being built up so that Yami should put up a better fight. And this could be pretty crazy, though, because it depends. If Finral's just dropping Yami off, he could technically go back and bring the whole squad here. And if they get Charmy and Sekre, a healer, and then a mana restorer, this could turn into a giant war against Dante, potentially. But that's kind of the chapter ends. So first, I'll just talk because this is what just showed recently. This is not Yami's Dimension Slash. Yami's Dimension Slash is always portrayed to be a really clean cut. It's not really fluid and maybe a bit like liquidy like this is. This looks to be like Lightless Slash and just a giant version of it. Maybe it's a new spell or it makes just dark magic come up from the earth. We don't know, but it's not Dimension Slash likely. Dimension Slash is always shown to be a fairly clean cut. If you go back and look, it's like a really thin, clean cut, and this is not that. And So one of the things I'm going to talk about first is, yeah, Asta got his ass whooped. Still, though, Asta was holding his own against 60% Dante at first. Dante should be way above Zeno. And now people were trying to argue that because Dante was using his fists, that for some reason his physical strength scales above Asta. Guys, he's using reinforcement magic. He's literally possessed by a devil. And he's using a literal spell to fight. He's probably using gravity to maybe amplify the weight of his arms. He's using gravity to make him heavier or make them lighter so he can punch faster. Who really knows? We don't really know exactly how the spell works, or we don't know if he's just... We don't know, but it's still a spell. It's not just his physical strength. And even if it wasn't a spell, the mana would just be naturally advancing his physical capabilities. Now, is Dante with mana, like, if mana plus physical strength, is Dante stronger? Yes, but if it was just physical strength, it's very, very unlikely he would be. But if you have even here, it's likely that Dante, while punching Asta, caused his fist to bleed, which still shows decent durability for Asta, to be able to, his skin be tough enough to cause it to bleed. But then again, this could just be the anti-magic that he, after punching Asta in the face, don't really know for sure, or it could be more devil mana emanating from his hands. Don't really know. That it could be either one of those, I guess. But yeah, Asta got the shit beaten out of him by Dante. And so next, talking about the whole Gray situation. First, I'm going to talk about the whole her being a witch. It seems to possibly be the case. This girl walking away here looks like the Witch Queen. Doesn't completely look like her. Almost a similar dress design, but not the same. And I don't even know if that's really a witch hat. It is a weird perspective shot, and it kind of looks like the bottom of the witch hat, but the pointy top doesn't seem to be present. Although you could argue that her daughters do somewhat look like her. But what's also weird here is that if Gray is her stepsister, that would imply marriage. Is the Witch Queen married to a man, or is she married to another woman, and Gray is another witch's daughter? It's kind of weird, you know, because stepsister implies marriage. Like you could say, oh, well, half-sisters. No, it says stepsisters specifically. Is this the Witch Queen? I don't know. Is this the daughter of the Witch Queen? I don't know. It does somewhat look like her. And this is in a forest. When Gray does leave, she is in a forest when she's attacked. And also, it does give a name calling... When Gray is transformed into be her stepsisters, they say that they're the Whiteley ladies. So is that the Witch Queen's last name? The Whiteley? Or whatever her name is, that's her name, Whiteley? Don't know. This could just be a noble that just has a similar dress to the Witch Queen. And then she's a Whiteley. But also, one thing that might kind of add to this is that the way she was able to save Gauche, did she use the Witch Queen's healing blood magic to save him? Because if you look, his wound was completely closed, and you know you can see the blood. Did she use the blood magic? Because we know that the Witch Queen had healing blood magic. If that was her stepmom, it would make sense that she could transform other magic into that. And this is what Vanessa says. She's like, shocked, Gray, the wound. She closed it. No, that spell, it's... And then she says, Gray, you... With the way Vanessa's all being shocked and stuff, and it's almost as if she recognizes it. Vanessa knows what the Witch Queen's blood healing magic is like. And that would make perfect sense if Gray, that was her stepmom. That would be kind of weird, because it would actually make Vanessa and Gray almost kind of like sisters. And so you have that there. So is Gray a witch? Don't really know. It depends if the Witch Queen married a man. If she just married a human, and the human had a daughter, then she wouldn't necessarily be a witch. She would just be a witch through marriage, I guess. And again, just if you go through the verbiage, the wound, she closed it, no, that spell, it's, and then Gray, you. And she looks shocked. Like, this could be, oh, she just used a healing spell. She's shocked that Gray used a healing spell, or she's shocked that this is just a higher advanced healing spell, like maybe it's just regenerating cells or whatever. Or maybe she turned the physical matter of the sword into healing magic. Maybe that's what makes her arcane. She can turn the healing magic, or the physical matter, into healing magic. But also, it would make a lot of sense if she was arcane, and that's the reason why Dante thought she was arcane, because she could turn her magic into other magics, which means she could turn her magic into arcane magic, and therefore, he might have saw if this was the blood healing magic. Remember, Veto used mythical beast magic, which is arcane because nothing could affect it, which is what happens with, devil magic, because you need arcane to affect it. Yet the Witch Queen's healing magic affected that curse, which means the Witch Queen should be arcane based on that logic. And then if you argue that, well, Gauche potentially used this blood healing magic, that's a way for Dante to possibly see Gray as being arcane. So, with that being said, is she potentially a witch? Maybe. I don't know. Is that the Witch Queen? Don't know. It does kind of look like her. It does look like a similar dress, but not exactly the same if you just compare it. We'll have to see. But it is building up to be pretty cool. I'm so excited to see Yami go off next chapter. See more of his mana zone, maybe some new spells. I would say he's very likely been training if he's flying on his own without a broomstick, if his Lightless Slash looks that huge. I mean, then again, it could just be a mana zone Lightless Slash, but anyways, I think it's going to be pretty cool no matter what. Looks like people were saying that Yami has a new belt with the rose on it. Is he maybe dating Charlotte now? That'd be pretty interesting. But Yami versus Dante. Maybe Finral will come back and bring the rest of the Black Bulls, and the Black Bulls will take down Dante together. Don't really know. I guess one thing I do want to bring up. People saying that this is a fake death and fairy tale-esque for Ghost not to die. First off, fairy tale is really not that bad with Power of Friendship. People kind of overrate it. Most of the people who say, oh, it's all Power of Friendship, are either speed readers, or they didn't even read the series and they just listen to people tell them stuff out of context. But the thing here, guys, is Gauche had a sword stabbed through his chest. Okay, we have that. This is a magical fantasy series where things crazy can happen. So you never assume somebody's dead just because if somebody had a giant sword impaled through them in our world, they'd be dead. For one, Gauche is a superhuman because he has mana, which is a supernatural energy. Then, what next? He was laying down and his grimoire was not dissolving or fading away. That's how we know when people are dying in Black Clover. When their grimoire when their grimoire is fading or dissolving away, that means they are dying. We saw this with Fugolion. His grimoire was fading away. And he survived. And what is next, guys? You have Gray, who is a transformation mage who can transform any magic into anything she wants. With that being said, the possibilities would be endless for her to use a healing spell, especially if, one, it's been a 6-month time skip where she probably was training, and two, with the power system being met of, oh, she just likely trained a lot for this 6-month time skip, two, potentially natural talent, and then three, you have her being emotional. Emotions are built into the power system because, I did a video on this in the past, power of friendship and that kind of stuff, that's a real human emotion. It can make you stronger, faster. It is the reason why the best sports teams usually have great chemistry. It's not, does they have the strongest, fastest, best athletes? A lot of times it's chemistry. They can trust each other. They can know how to play with each other, know how to play off of each other. Power friendship is a real thing, and that's in the power system that can be met. And when you have all of that met, where she's been training, potentially somewhat talented, and then also the emotion, and she has a transformation magic, oh, maybe she could learn a healing spell. This is not some fake death. Gauche was not that close to death. His grimoire was not dissolving as shown in the manga, and he had a transformation mage right next to him. And honestly, I think I kind of predicted that Gray would do something, and I was right. And then also people were saying that, oh, well, Finral's not going to come. Finral brought Yami, so Finral, in a sense, could have brought Sekre. I don't know why people are making a big deal out of this. I'm sure people are going to die this arc. It's just they needed Ghost to survive for Gray's special moment to reveal that she is arcane as well. Now this reveals that there are at least 5 people in the Black Bulls that are arcane now. You have Yami, Asta, Sekre, Vanessa, and Gray. I think they have like, what, 14 members? Guys, that's like over a third of their squad, which is absolutely insane. So, is he going to try and take all these arcanes? Because you have Vanessa weak right now without Rouge, you have Gray, you have Asta down for the count, and Sekira's not here, but is Yami going to get whooped? Don't really know. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this chapter review. I thought it was a really, really good chapter. I'm really excited for the next one to see Yami go off, but hope you guys all have an amazing day. Plus...